For you to be able to understand better the layers of PCB that you are seeing on EAGLE CAD, let's go ahead and dig deeper on what those layers actually looks like in an actual printed circuit board. So for today's video, we are going to talk about printed circuit board and its layers. So here you are looking now at my printed circuit board, and here is its schematic diagram. Then this is the printed circuit board layout on my CAD software. Let's compare the layers. Let's start with the outermost layer, the dimension. As you can see, this determines the shape of my printed circuit board. On my PCB layout, this is the thin yellow line. Whatever the shape it is on my PCB layout, this will be the actual shape of my printed circuit board. So what I mean is, if I make a heart-shaped dimension layer, then my actual printed circuit board will also be the same shape as the heart. My circuit board only has two layers. This is the top and this is the bottom. On some advanced PCBs, they have 4 or more layers copper. Let's focus on 2-layer PCB since this is my example. Please take note on the top and bottom layers of my PCB as they will be a reference to the top and bottom I will mention on later topics of this video. So you can see my printed circuit board is black. On some circuit boards, it is colored green, blue, violet, red, and etc. This is the solder mask layer. Aside from it gives beauty to our circuit board, these layers stops the solder from going on the coppers that you don't want to solder. Let me show you an example. This circuit board is unsoldered yet. As you can see, there are parts that has no solder mask, and those parts are the pads, pins, and VS. Since you will need to solder pins and pad to place the component, then that's why there is a limited part of copper exposed, then the rest is covered with solder mask. The parts that are covered with solder mask are the part that solder will not go through. On PCB layout, there is no solder mask showing here on layers. What you will need to look at is the stop mask. We have here two stop masks. It is the T-stop and B-stop. T-stop is for top layer and B-stop is for bottom layer. These two layers come in a form of gray shade on our PCB layout. The part that are shaded with T-stop and B-stop, those are the part that have no solder mask on your actual PCB. You always see these white labels as a guide on soldering components. Am I right? Like this, for example, this indicates the orientation of the microcontroller. There are also component names. That's why you know what components to solder on specific pads and pins. This is called the silk screen layer. Silk screen layer is the white text and shapes on your PCB. This helps you know what components to solder on specific parts of your board, and it tells how the component's orientation is. On EAGLE CAD, there is no silk screen layer. What you will need to look at is the T-place, B-place, T-names, and B names. T-place and T-names are for your PCB's top layer, and B-place and B-names are for your bottom layer. Now let's talk about the copper layout of your circuit board. Top copper is named as top, and the bottom copper is named as bottom. The red ones on my screen is my top copper layer. This is how it looks like in actual. Then the blue ones is the bottom layer, and this is how it looks like in actual. Well, talking about the copper under the solder mask, just to clarify, don't rely to the color here too much because the color on layers can be changed. You must depend more on the layer's name. This copper layer is the way of the electricity and signals. It is like their roads, streets, and highways. This is where the electricity and signals travel from one point to another. Another copper layer is BS. It is a plated through hole. This is the connection of top and bottom copper layers. Using this, electricity can travel from one layer into another. So in case you need to connect a top copper into a bottom copper, then use VS to connect that. If you are going to attach your circuit board using screws to your base, make sure to put a whole layer on your circuit board to indicate what part of your PCB should be drilled so you can put screws in it. On my PCB layout, these are my whole layers, and this is how they look like in actual. If you reach this part of my video, I am so grateful. Thank you for watching and staying. I wish you learned a lot on this video. Please share and don't forget to subscribe. On to the next vlog.